Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to Vidane TV. Showtime, Paul Strickland Jr. Not really under the weather, but I still don't quite have all of my voice. Did way too much yelling and screaming Monday night at a wrestling show than one grown man should openly admit. Had a good time, but still a little bit down and out with the old voice box here. But luckily, not up here alone. Aaron Creed going to jump in, make the call for the race. He's joined tonight by Tim Terry off in turn 27. Keeping an eye out for some sailboat fuel out there. Going to help out with the call here tonight. And Tim, great to have you back here. NEP night in America and parts of Canada.
It is great to hear what is left of your voice. Looking forward to tonight. I am situated by the bus stop. I know our race director, Magnum Mike, is telling these drivers and talking these drivers through. As you see the lineup on your screen, and they're going to come through the bus stop here and get ready to go. In a few moments, Aaron, this is going to be exciting. Road course is always a good time here with the NEP series, and familiar faces up in front, including that '09 of John Peters.
Certainly is going to be John Peters in the outside of the front row. Kenny Kibbe starting on the pole. Won last time out. He's got the point lead now, and he's one of those guys that came in here with confidence on the road courses. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. We got about a 24-car field. Some Reginald Parent started second in points, starting way back in 22nd position. So a long way for him to go. We got a couple road course ringers in there, subbing for third place point man Stephen Daddy, currently starting in third. I believe that's J.R. Shepard in the 99. So they're going to be working through the corners here and getting ready to take the green flag here momentarily. And we're going to have 35 laps. Zanie does the Glenie, and Zane Farrell starting in ninth alongside Corey Casagrande. And some of these competitors are going to be looking to keep things clean here and keep it on the pavement. But the sports car pit pace car goes in, and we're green right away heading into turn one. John Peters and Kenny Kibbe. Kibbe's got the preferred line. Let's see if he can keep the lead here, but Peters really worked it through that turn very well, and we already got a car around the 56 of Evan Bollier. And he's able to get it back going here once again as we take a look from the blimp to see how things are going. Everyone else pretty much keeping it straight right now, and we have Kenny Kibbe out front ahead of John Peters at the moment. Long way to go, though, in this 35-lap race. They tick off laps a little over a minute, and they're going through the bus stop now, Tim. What do you see so far?
Everybody is getting through here single file except for the two drivers at the back of the field. The only other car that I haven't seen come through here is, I believe, one of the Ship boys. Brian Ship, I believe, missed the start of this one. So he's at the back of the field coming, right there, right through the bus stop, right here. That was beautiful. Yeah.
Good to see you paying attention with that glass of the Finger Lakes wine there, and I'm sure you're enjoying that out there in the bus stop on this beautiful day in upstate New York. But back up front, Kenny Kibbe leading the way so far. John Peters keeping him in sight. We saw a little bit earlier there. Brandon Markevka went for a spin, and Spencer Davis coming down pit road very early in that number 29. Markevka's doing the same. Markevka, I think, did get a brush with that guardrail, so but didn't look damaged too badly. Right now, the 99 that's piloted by J.R. Shepard tonight in the 99 machine, following John Peters. He's closely on his back bumper as here they come again through the bus stop.
Yeah, they look pretty good so far. The everybody is single file, and I think the sense of urgency is going to get a little bit more intense as we go through. We got a side-by-side battle middle through the S's, and it looks like somebody's going to pick up a spot there. That might have been Parent that lost a spot through there, but everybody's kind of taking it nice and easy right now. As you can see, the shot from the blimp, not a whole lot of drivers really attacking this place right now, just kind of feeling out where they are, and I heard something about maybe a pit stop later on in this race. They're going to have to make at least one, potentially two. So don't really want to push it as hard right now as maybe you would later on in the race.
Yeah, I was hearing that they might have to make two pit stops. So I don't know if there was some strategy there going on earlier. Markevka's still on pit road, but Spencer Davis was in early. And I don't know if we'll see if that works out in his favor coming in real early. We see that in a lot of in the past before the days in NASCAR when there were stage breaks. You would have drivers that would kind of play around with that strategy, come in early or come in during green, and kind of see it cycle out and have an advantage there when it comes down near the end. So will be interesting to see what happens. Devin Marhefko are riding with him in the number 22, currently riding in 8th, having a good run. Currently following, actually he's losing some ground on the number 9 of Jason Ricker. Normally that's Jason Ricker, but that's Johnny Miller that's actually subbing for him this evening in the 7th spot. Zane Farrell has picked up a few positions from his starting position earlier on as he moves into 6th during the annual Zanie at the Glenie. This race is 5 laps longer than the previous year's event, which was won by John Peters, and second was Kenny Kibbe. So, yeah, it's kind of the usual suspects up front at the moment. As we tick off another lap, we got 4th lead out of 35, and we're kind of just moving right along here.
Yeah, pretty quiet up here right now, Aaron. They're going to come up on the bus stop here in just a moment. Mr. Belvedere made a move the last lap by on Newhouse to pick up a spot, setting it up out of the bus stop. Here they come now to come up to my portion of the racetrack, and top 3 have kind of separated themselves from Brent Roy in position number 4 and the rest of the field. Brent's up 2 spots after starting in position number 6, and everybody kind of biding their time right now. No side-by-side as we work through the bus stop.
Yeah, a lot of biding time going on right now, and some just trying to keep it straight too. That's for sure. Not just like you have when you go to Watkins Glen any other weekend during the racing season. You have some folks that are masters on the road courses, and some folks that they're just trying to survive the day. So we're seeing a little bit from column A and a little bit from column B here, and right now. Most of the drivers doing a very good job, though. It's Zane Farrell under pressure now from the number 9 car for that 6th position, and he's kind of trying to move in on the 5th place car of Dale Glessner, having a good run in that number 10 machine. And right now, cars spread out for the most part. It's a 1-second advantage from Kibbe to Peters, a 1-second advantage from Peters to Daddio, and then 2 seconds back to Brent Roy. But here's a closer battle right now. Corey Casagrande running in 8th at the moment. There's Devin Marhefka in 9th in the 22. And then it's another 4 seconds back to Ryan Messer in the 10th spot as he tries to hold off Matt Shinoski as we're heading towards the bus stop again. Corey Casagrande getting a little air there.
Yeah, this battle on your screen is the best battle on the racetrack right now. We got a couple of 2-car battles right. I think Ryan Messer's about to lose a position coming out of the bus stop. But other than that, these guys are putting on a show for a couple of positions. You ride on board here, and they're all trying to get by that number 14 car.
Yeah, Zane Farrell trying with all his might to keep everyone behind him at the moment. We'll see how successful he can be at that, though. Right now, as you see, Dale Glessner has pulled a few seconds ahead of Farrell, and now here's the pass. Here's the pass for 6th spot. The 9 of Johnny Miller this evening is he wiggles a little bit there on the front stretch, but he may have the momentum here to get under Farrell, and he's not going to, actually. Scrubbed off some speed there on the front stretch, and I think that hurt him in the number 9 car, and he's now going to have to deal with the 7 CT of Corey Casagrande in the 7 car. A lot of jockeying for position potentially going on here as everyone trying to keep it going, and as the tires continue to wear around this more than 2-mile course.
Yeah, we've got a couple of battles throughout that one that we're watching here with Zane Farrell leading. Corey Casagrande in there as well is pretty good. Looks like Ryan Messer has lost a couple of positions. He was battling with a 3-car pack in front of him. You see him and Newhouse going at it right there. The 3-car pack that's right ahead of them, Messer was up on, including the 42 right there, Shinoski. It looks like Austin Belkey back there as well. Mr. Belvedere coming back through the field. Messer was ahead of these guys, and last couple of laps has kind of fallen back a little bit as we work through, and it looks like we might have had an off with Cody LeBlanc. We're going to chase that down and see what put the 07 out of the race.
Yeah, it's a tough break for Cody LeBlanc in the 07 NH. We also had Spencer Davis that was on pit road once again. So kind of throw that strategy we were talking about out the window. Jared Adams there in the 43 going a lap down. He's missing a hood. So something must have happened there to the 43 machine for Jared Adams. Just trying to survive here as we continue with, we're about a fifth of the way into this race. And I apologize, I said Kenny Kibbe was the winner last week, but it was actually Austin Belke, his fellow Michigan racer, that picked up his first oval victory in NEP. And it was Kibbe that finished second for a 1-2 Michigan finish. And Kibbe's trying to do the Wolverine State strong once again, but he's got John Peters now within a car length of him. This battle for the lead has really heated up.
Absolutely, it has. Kenny Kibbe under pressure from John Peters as they come down the front. There's Mr. Ship. That one has sailed. He is going to go a lap down. Looked at Cody LeBlanc, and it looks like the 7NH coming out of turn number 1 a few laps ago, Aaron. It got away from him. He went head on to the guardrail in turn 2, and that will end his night. So as this battle for the lead continues on, it looks like there's a couple of drivers that are really struggling hard here early.
Yeah, we had an off that were a little bit further back from the leaders as well. It was hard to make out who that was, but right now, yeah, Jeff Brown about to go a lap down in the number 27 machine. He's kept it on the course, it seems like, but trying to maintain his own pace. And some of these folks, it's just about racing the racetracks, not racing the racetrack, not racing the other editors when it comes to having all the fenders on it at the end of 35 laps. But John Peters all over the back of Kenny Kibbe. Kibbe has a couple wins to his credit this season. Actually, he only has one win to his credit this season, but several podiums. And John Peters finally broke into victory lane a couple weeks ago. And so both of these drivers trying to get themselves into the column of having more than one victory as they put a lap on Bobby Ship as they go down the front stretch. Another driver having some struggles there. That makes 17 cars on the lead lap. Ryan Salvatore currently the last car remaining on the lead lap. Scott McDonald currently runs in 16th, currently in 10th in points. And right now, though, Kibbe's actually gained a car length or two on Peters. Maybe Peters has backed off a little bit here. Very early in this race still. A lot of things to be settled as we continue on here at Watkins Glen International.
There's a few battles starting to brew throughout this field. You kind of mentioned the Scott McDonald and Ryan Salvatore battle as it heads into corner number 1. The 44 has that slight advantage on the 12, but it seems like every time one of those makes a mistake, one of those drivers kind of has a little bit of an off or dips 2 wheels, the other one kind of does the same a little ways up the road. You see it on your screen now with Scott McDonald holding off Ryan Salvatore for that spot. They're going to come up on the bus stop here momentarily, but that is for 16th and 17th. That is the battle for the last spot on the lead lap, and right up the road from them is Reggie Perrin. So it hasn't been a great day for the 17, but currently 15th and still plenty of laps to get it done.
Yeah, Perrin kind of in a mid-season slump here a little bit after really starting off strong, and it'll be interesting with those three kind of battling together. It's going to be, at some point here, most likely, the leader's going to catch them and attempt to put them a lap down. So it still will be a while. There are still about 40 seconds back from leader. Like we said, it takes a little more than a minute to navigate pit road and navigate the entire course, which we saw. Johnny Miller was on pit road, and Ryan Messer had a bit of a mix-up there trying to get on pit road, it seemed like.
Messer has struggled fairly hard so far this evening. There's it just seems like he's a little bit lost out in left field on this one, but when we come back next week, he's strong. Once we get off these road courses a little bit, you see that battle with McDonald and the 12 of Salvatore. Nice little battle up the road, just where Johnny Miller wasn't through the bus stop. The 56 of Mr. Belvedere and Shinosky. Belvedere kind of fed the bumper a little bit to the 42. 42 runs him up a little bit. And Austin Belke now a part of this battle as well. So the gloves are kind of coming off here as if these guys need to make 2 pit stops. You saw John Miller pit just ahead of this group on the last lap by. You'd almost have to think that these guys might be starting to think about it here too.
Yeah, sometimes it's monkey see, monkey do when it comes to making pit stops. But I'll tell you, it seems like For some of these cars, actually probably about half of them, it looks like they've been running on a boring short track today, the way their cars look. So um, a lot of hard racing going on, and yeah, some beating and banging for sure, as we just saw with Evan Boyer trying to get back into the top 10. He is, in fact, in the 10th spot now after that off on the opening lap, as we've had a lead change now up front. John Peters making his way into the lead, as Kenny Kibbe now falls to second. And we'll see if Kibbe can keep up with Peters now. Peters was really hounding him a little bit there for a couple laps. And, wow. Well, we'll see what happens. Stephen Daddio car, driven by J.R. Shepard this evening, and Brent Roy are both still within striking distance there in the 3rd and 4th spot, as we ride along with John Peters now in the 09.
The lead change was made down here the last time by. The 09 was able to outbrake the 4 Kibbe down into turn number 1, and Kibbe went a little bit wide on the exit of 1 to let Peters at least have the opportunity to go down and make that run. And the G&G gift number 09 still ahead of the field, decent through 1 and 2, and Kibbe follows in his tire tracks. There's Spencer Davis on pit road as you ride on board with Kenny Kibbe trying to get up here. They'll come up to the bus stop this time by and see if Kenny Kibbe can maybe outbreak John Peters in this portion of the racetrack. And while he's in the tire tracks, it looks like everything is smooth by both drivers. Little bobble by Peters coming out of the bus stop, but not enough for Kibbe to make a move.
I love watching them weave their way through the bus stop there. It's always interesting to watch. Some great camera angles here this evening as we ride with the right front. Kenny Kibbe in the number 4, keeping Peters there within striking distance. And right now we've got Evan Boyer is apparently on pit road. And yeah, so we keep talking about strategy, but we see the 9 of Jason Ricker, also known as John Miller. He was on pit road for a very extended amount of time. So, and he might still be on pit. There he comes out of pit road. So I'm not sure what went wrong there. Spencer Davis continues on pit road. My fellow North Carolina neighbor not having a good go of it. I might have to head down to their shop and take a look at that virtual race car after this evening's done, because that thing does not look like it's in good shape. They'll have some work to do for that number 29 machine. But some good battles on the racetrack right now. Corey Casagrande getting around Zane Farrell for position. That's for the 6th spot at the moment. Devin Marhefka on pit road. A lot going on all over this road course right now. Spencer Davis still on pit road, and we got Ryan Messer down pit road, getting down properly this time without going for a spin there before in the final turn, and Ryan Salvatore on pit road as well. And now it seems like business is picking up as everyone comes in for service.
Kibbe and Peters are going to come out the final corner. We'll see if they decide to come down into pit road or not. The 4 had a really good run up the hill the last time at a turn number 1 as they stay on the racetrack. Keep your eye on the 4 this time and see what exit he can get at a 1, because that was where he was strongest the last time. Almost was able to make the move on Peters. Smooth here through turn number 1. Oh, never mind. Sideways is the 4, Kenny Kibbe, and he's going to lose a ton of time.
Yeah, but both of these drivers super skilled on these road courses, and yeah, you just have to be on at every corner on a track like this. And yeah, Kibbe's going to regroup though. I have a feeling, and he's going to zoom right back in on Peters there before this race is over. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see. It'll be pretty fun to see if those two are able to dice it out back and forth here. Right now, Peters definitely smooth there going through the bus stop, and now coming through. Looks like they're going to stay out there another time, and yeah, a lot going on right now. Stephen Daddio in the 99 still about 4.5 seconds behind. We saw Brent Roy did come down pit road in the number 26. So things are going to shuffle around here very shortly, and right now we are still not even halfway in this event, as still a long way to settle this. 14 of 35 laps complete, and I don't think we're going to be able to see anyone stretch it the way that we have things going right now, as Dale Glessner now was 4th, and now he's coming down pit road in the number 10 machine. Pennsylvania driver, having a good run so far. Peters right now has extended his lead to about a second over Kibbe.
Some lap traffic ahead of the leaders as they come into the bus stop, so we'll see what plays out there. Marhefka just ahead, trying to stay ahead, and you can see the nice shot from the blimp there as Peters moves up, tiptoes around this lap traffic to the inside he goes, and Kibbe in second. I'm surprised if they can't make it and stretch it to halfway. I'm surprised Kibbe didn't come down the last time by with the tires that might have been a little upset with him after that turn number 1 slide, as Marhefka about to go a lap down to the 09 of Peters. He'll come by this time. We'll see if decides to come down onto pit road, does Peters or Kibbe. But you'd have to think maybe they're going long. No, they're not. They're coming in this time by your 2 leaders, heading down to the attention of their crew. And Kibbe made up a little bit of time in the braking zone there.
Yeah, he had to woe it down there a little bit there to make sure he meets pit road speed. Third place car also coming in. So the top 3 in this race for most of the distance are using the same pit strategy. So that's going to allow Corey Casagrande and Zane Farrell to get out front. No, it's not. They're going to come down pit road as well. And I think that's going to cycle things around here very shortly. Matt Shinosky, the 6th place car, also coming down pit road. Austin Belke did stay out, though. And he is now he's going to be credited with the lead. So another Michigan driver getting out in the lead, the winner last week. And John Peters in and out of the pits pretty quickly there. Makes up a little bit of ground there, as you can see on Kenny Kibbe. After Kibbe kind of reeled him in there coming down pit road. Now Peters has a little bit more of an advantage. And there we see also coming out of pit road, Corey Casagrande, Zane Farrell right there with him. Matt Shinosky in the 42 coming out. And we're going to cycle things back around, and it's going to be once Austin Belke comes in, and he's already got John Peters on his tail. That is, I have a feeling we're going to see the 24 come in. Like we said, I don't think we're going to be able to see these guys stretch it to make it just one pit stop the way it seems.
He's got to go 2 more laps, and that's going to be a tall ask for Austin Belke as the 09 of John Peters tries to get by the 24, and they'll work through the final couple of corners. I would expect Belke to come down this time. Slow pit stop on the 4. They took a long time, Aaron, on the right-hand side or the left-hand side of that race car, as there goes Belke down onto pit road. Peters has to go a little bit wide to avoid the 24 coming down, but really slow stop by Kenny Kibbe, and that's the difference right now, and it's now down to about a half second or so. Kibbe trying to reel him in and go hard in these braking zones and pick up what he can.
Well, yeah, Belke coming down pit road there, it might have been a blessing for Kibbe, because after that ground he lost in the pits, now he's right there back with Peters after Peters had to back off a little bit. So right now, once again, it's the Peters and Kibbe show right up front, and it's only about a quarter of a second separating them, and only 2.5 seconds behind in third is the 99 tonight, driven by J.R. Shepard, and Corey Casagrande and Zane Farrell coming down pit road again. So that's very interesting to see what's going on here, because they just came in the previous lap. So not sure what happened. What's that?
Black flags on both of them right now. We'll have to go back and take a look and see what it was. But
interesting.
This racetrack has a very fine line when you come off a pit road, so I don't know if it was exiting pit road or speeding, but I'm going to go back and take a look at that and see what they got caught for. The 27 of Jeff Brown is also being posted.
Interesting. So some violations there going on, and during that last round of pit stops, going to certainly mix things up. And right now, back up front, though, it's John Peters, Kenny Kibbe. They have the Scott McDonald machine that they're getting ready to put a lap on. McDonald does the right thing, I would think you could say, and he moves out of their way. And we saw Brendan Marhefka do that before pit stops as well. So some of these drivers, they know the leaders are coming, and they're going to do what they can to not play a factor in their race for the win. So right now it's Peters, Kibbe, Daddio. Brent Roy is still only about 5 seconds back, a little over 5 seconds back in fourth, and then it's a long way back to fifth. That's Devin Marhefka. He is 29 seconds behind the leader right now as we reach the halfway point in this one. So Devin Marhefka giving it a good run and with the top 5, but he's going to have a ton of ground to make up to catch those top 4 competitors.
Looking at the entry on some of those pit stops, I believe Casagrande may have been a pit entry issue, speeding just a couple over. I believe Zane Farrell may be a speeding off of pit road. He was 44 at the line. Pit road speed is 40. And Jeff Brown was a little hot coming onto pit road on his stop, so I believe all of those were speeding penalties on pit road that brought them back down.
A tough break for all of those competitors, and we saw it when Peters and Kibbe came down pit road. Kibbe made that advantage up, but he had to woe it down before they do start clocking you to see if you're going the speed limit. So he was able to woe it down in time, unlike some of the other drivers where. So good job by Kenny Kibbe. He's able to keep that second spot as he continues to hound John Peters here as they lap by Ryan Salvatore. Sal going a lap down, running in 13th. Not a bad run, though. Having a good go of it so far. And, we're going to see what continues to happen there as we see some of the lap times. The last time by, Peters and Kibbe were separated by only 1/100th of a second. So running some impressive lap times there, 1 minute 13 seconds and 0.45, 1 minute 13 seconds, 0.46, and both of them doing a good job right now. And actually, I think that might have been their fastest laps of the race. Actually, no. There's Kibbe. He ran a 1 minute 13.61. There's their fastest laps of the race. Kibbe, the only one that's run under 1 minute 13, but look how close they are. Kibbe, 1 minute 12, 9.99. Peters' fastest lap of 1 minute 13.02. These guys are so evenly matched. I think we're going to see a good duel here going down to the wire as the laps continue to wind down.
Still going to have one more pit stop. We would think around lap 28 to 31, 32-ish. If this keeps up, most of those guys behind them may be in a couple of laps beforehand. And this is the closest battle for position on the lead lap right now, with the exception of 10th place. Ryan Messer, with that car all tore to pieces, is battling with Dale Glessner for position number 10. And our race sponsor this evening, Zanie, is currently holding off Corey Casagrande. One lap down in 15th place. They are chasing down, I believe that's Marhefka ahead of them. Marhefka is 2 laps down, not on the same lap.
Yeah, a lot of drivers losing laps in this race, and right now, though, we see them they were going side by side there just for a moment, but now they straighten out single file. Corey Casagrande, Zane Farrell. Farrell getting a good run on Marhefka here going into this turn, and is he going to be able to lap by him? Doesn't look like it this time by. Marhefka really giving those guys a run for their money here, despite not being on the same lap as them. So up front, there's a good battle going on once again between Peters and Kibbe. Looked like Kibbe almost got up out front there for just a moment, and as they go through the bus stop now, Kibbe getting a little air on the right front there, going over the curb, and Peters got out of the bus stop a little bit better than Kibbe that time by, and Kibbe's going to be following about a half second back once again.
We can tell you the battle for position number 15 is officially over. Zane Farrell got into the back of Marhefka, coming down the front straightaway. It allowed Corey Casagrande to get by, and Zane Farrell still cannot get by Mr. Marhefka. You see the damage on the front. I know Paul probably get a shot of that right here, and there's a good shot of it through the bus stop. That damage was sustained by trying to get by Marhefka. And it looks like, well, okay. Oh, yeah. I don't think it's over.
Zane Farrell and Brandon Marhefka may be having a conversation when they're at Jennerstown Speedway this season about something like that. And look at that. He turns him into the wall there as they both go off course. Farrell to the right of the kitty litter there, and he's going to have to trudge through that kitty litter and gets back on course. And that's not what you want to see here on a road course with these high speeds and the guardrails. Farrell's going to lose a ton of time there, and he falls to 16th spot. Loses another lap potentially. So tough break for Zane Farrell. Scott McDonald on pit road once again in the 44. Lots going on right now. Kenny Kibbe is within a third of a second of John Peters up front, and
got a lot going on right now. We were talking about the battle for 10th earlier. I believe that just changed positions with Dale Glessner moving ahead of Ryan Messer. Not sure what happened to Glessner as he was running 4th or 5th before pit stops, but now kind of relegated into the 10th position at the moment as he pulls away from Ryan Messer.
We've got some battles and some excitement all over this racetrack. We can report that Brandon Marhefka has been parked by race officials. Magnum Mike has pulled him off the racetrack, and he was using some very big boy language towards Zane Farrell before his scoring card was pulled this evening. So I'm sure that's going to be fun to look at later on this evening. But ahead of Zane, there's a lot of cars that are kind of, I don't want to say battling, but there's you got Adams, which is a couple of laps down. You got Evan Belvedere and a couple of others just trying to find their way around the racetrack. It hasn't been Jared Adams' night. The 43 has done a little bit more off-road excursions, trying to keep it on the racetrack than not, and trying to stay out of the way, Aaron, of these battles that are going around him.
Yeah, I was going to say that's one way to stay out of the way. It's just kind of mow the lawn there a little bit, but he's keeping most of the fenders on it. We saw the hood was off of that car earlier, and now it's back on. So they've made some repairs during that last stops. So he's on track to. Because of some of the drivers behind the wall, he's going to finish in the top 20. So actually, currently being scored in 18th position. So. Not a bad evening for Jared Adams. A decent points day for him in the 43. Regan Parent has lost a lap. Second place points man. He is currently sitting in 12th spot. There's a couple other drivers that have some issues. Like you said, we've got another round of pit stops. We could see, and when you're getting down to the wire like that, you might see it with about 4 or 5 laps to go. Every driver is going to want to be trying to pick up as much ground as they can, but don't want to end up being called back in to pit road once again if you're coming out too hot. So right now, it's a hot battle out front still once again between Kibbe and Peters, and they've been kind of swapping the lap time each of the last few laps. So very, very close, evenly matched battle here between these two competitors. Kibbe currently leading the point standings. John Peters still a little bit ways back. That's his if he wants to claim his 4th consecutive title. Currently in 6th in points, 54 back from Kibbe. So definitely trying to keep Kibbe behind him, trying to lead the most laps, trying to pick up another position, and get trouble for Devin Marhefka on the 22.
Yeah, Marhefka's off over here on the bus stop, and he gets back on the racetrack. Been looking through the field. We saw the battle for the lead, and that's the best battle right now on the racetrack for any position, whether it's 1 lap down or 2 laps down or whatever the case may be. There is a 12 of Salvatore coming on the pit road. Leaders are up on Messer to put Messer a lap down. That would be for position number 11. There's a lot of traffic out here, Aaron, but there's not a whole lot of positional battle at this point except for this one right here on your screen.
Well, if it's the one that's for the lead, that's the most important and exciting one normally. And the fans are, I'm sure, enjoying this battle for the top spot. We haven't really seen it swapped very many times, but they've been staying right with each other as they continue to maneuver through some of these slower machines. Jeff Brown in the 27, they're approaching him to put him a 3rd lap down, actually a 4th lap down. The number 27, Brown, they're riding here the 20th spot, and they get through without an issue. Some of these other cars that were a lap down are actually following the front two in their tire tracks, trying to learn something potentially. As we see the 4th place car, Brent Roy, coming down pit road. He came in a little early last time as well. So we'll see if that works in his favor or if it does not. So right now, though, John Peters, Kenny Kibbe, still 1-2. And J.R. Shepard gradually, slowly but surely, reeling those two in. He's only about 1.9 seconds back. Was about 2.5, 3 seconds back earlier. So he's actually making up some ground. Ryan Messer trying to follow the 99 car through there, currently riding in the 11th spot. So right now, the 1, 2, 3, those are the cars that are the ones to watch. As laps wind down, we're about to go into single digits with laps remaining.
We'll see the leaders come by the last couple of corners here and see what they can do. I would assume they would stay on the racetrack until the. Well, maybe not. Never mind. They're coming on to pit road. Forget what I just said. Peters and Kibbe coming on to pit road, and the Daddy-O car driven by Shepard following them down as well. I was thinking they were going to go a couple of extra laps on this run, but maybe Brent Roy forced their hand a little bit. Brent trying to get the undercut and trying to get a little bit closer to those top three and get himself a podium finish. Maybe forced the hand of these three that are coming down to pit road now.
Yeah, a little surprising to me that they did come down as well so early. As Brent Roy in the 26 car, like you said, he might have forced their hand. It's hard to tell because with the way these the tire wear is going on here, it's tough. But still, Kenny Kibbe, John Peters. Peters got out way in front of Kenny Kibbe that time.
Fuel only on the 09.
Oh, wow. So that is very, very interesting. Very interesting strategy on the 09, not taking tires, and that's going to give him some track position. But Kibbe does have fresh tires, so we'll see if he can reel Peters in by the time this is over. Matt Shanoski, who is riding in 5th, coming down pit road. Austin Belke coming down a little earlier than he did last time. And Dale Glessner also coming down. So a lot going on. Corey Casagrande gets out of pit road, and hopefully without any issue this time. Zane Farrell might have a little bit of some work to do with that 14 car, but everyone making it out in and out of pit road okay so far. Will be interesting to see or hear if anything changes with that. But right now, it's Peters up front. Regan Parent, there we see in the 17, currently riding in 8th position as things continue to cycle around. Regan Parent just trying to make up some ground here from his 22nd starting spot. He's done a good job with it so far, and we'll have to see how this all cycles around right now. Kenny Kibbe has been making up about a second the last couple laps, so with 8 laps to go, he's about 8.5 seconds behind. So we'll see if he can catch back up to Peters here as we continue on. And that was the best battle on track, but the strategy now spread them out.
It shows on the ticker that John Peters is on pit road, but he is definitely on the racetrack right now, putting down some laps. And last lap by, Peters was a little bit quicker than Kibbe, but that was the out lap, so we'll see what happens here on this next one. Shepard was able to battle with Roy for a little bit. Brent had the number of the 99 for about a lap or so, but now Shepard has pulled away and continues to drive away from the 26 car. So what was going to be a battle for third is not really much of one right now, and that's kind of been the story between those two. Roy able to get 2 spots on the start of this race and not able to move anywhere forward. Our leader is in some lap traffic, as you see U-House on the screen. That is John Peters. Peters goes by and puts a lap on Parent, and we have a yellow flag out on the speedway. You know what, Paul, I thought I saw it. I thought I saw a little bit of a glimmer over here in the bus stop. It looks a little bit wet. I think we have some sailboat fuel on the exit of the bus stop.
I think you might have spilled some wine over there. That might have contributed too.
I think Paul is dead. What was left of the voice is no longer here.
Yeah, but we are under yellow, and we'll probably be under yellow here for a couple laps, and then we'll probably have about a 5-lap dash. Will be interesting with only about 7 or 8 cars on the lead lap if anyone chooses to come back down pit road. With things being bunched up once again, we should give a call to Brandon Newhouse. We just briefly mentioned him since there haven't been any major wrecks or anything like that. We had a couple skirmishes, but we haven't had a chance to bring up the U-House Racing Designs replay really this evening. But he's given it a good run in that Oreo number 3, running in the 5th spot. And I have a bag of Oreos in my cabinet that I might have to get to here before the evening's done, after seeing his U-House Racing Designs number 3 painted up that way. But he's doing a good job right now in 5th, and he's going to catch back up to this field and be right there within striking distance when we go back to green.
field has collected, or the leaders have collected behind the pace car. So we'll see if this is a quickie caution or how many laps they do burn under yellow here, because we're going to come by the next time with only 5 laps remaining in this race. If you're John P, right now there's 8 cars on the lead lap. Reggie should be the free pass recipient, so it should put us with 9 cars on the lead lap. I think if you're Peters, I think if you're Kibbe, I think if you pit and nobody else does, you may be able to come back in 4 laps. It's going to be easier said than done, but we'll see how many laps are left on the board here as they work through the bus stop here. And you can see off that shot right there, it's just on the exit right there at the top line. There's a little bit of a glimmer on the racetrack, and I think that's what the crew is going to have to clean up.
Yeah, I think I see it too. So we'll see. Hopefully it's a quick cleanup like we were saying. I have a feeling we'll have just another lap under yellow here before we get going once again, as there it comes into the camera angle right there. So to reset the running order, it's John Peters running in the lead, Kenny Kibbe running in second. That whole strategy, I don't know. that may not have played into John Peters' hands there now, as he thought it was probably the winning strategy before, now as we have that late yellow. But we have Peters first, Kibbe second, J.R. Shepard in the Stephen Daddio number 99 in third, Brent Roy fourth, and Brandon Uhouse fifth, Evan Boyer sixth, Matt Shinatsky seventh, Austin Belke eighth, Reggie Parent ninth, and Devin Marhefka rounds out the current top 10. And that's a lot of the drivers that are up there in the points as well. I believe that's 7 of the top 10 in points are in the top 10 right now. So the cream rising to the top, and then you also have Austin Belke, who's 11th in points at the moment, running in the 8th spot. So once again, still, I'm going to be interested to see what happens here when we go back to green here very shortly. It looks like the field is, no, I was going to say they're getting ready to bunch up, but that's just Peter's kind of giving the pace car a run for his money a little bit there.
So we had Roy, Uhouse, Mr. Belvedere come down pit road of the drivers that are on the lead lap. Shinoski stayed out. Austin Belke is still trying to catch the field. So he is staying on the racetrack to at least try to catch up to the end of this lineup. And he actually may be, he's going to be behind some of these guys that did come down pit road. Roy already out on the racetrack. So we'll see where it puts them. But nevertheless, Peters, Kibbe, and Shepard, your top 3, stayed out on the racetrack to keep their track position. And once they pull the lap cars and all that fun stuff, they will be mano a mano getting ready for the green flag here. And it looks like they're going to come by and shut the lights off this time, so we'll have a 3-lap dash.
Yeah, going to be interesting. And I had a feeling that I figured that the leaders would stay out. They kind of played their hand already with that last round of green flag pit stops. So, I mean, it's one of those things where if they come down pit road, maybe some of those guys that did come down pit road wouldn't, just to take advantage of the track position. So it's you're kind of a sitting duck sometimes in these road courses when you're out front. And we'll see if they can keep that those top spots. That top 3 has pretty much been 1, 2, 3 in some order for 99% of this race. So Matt Shinoski now running in 4th. Haven't really seen what he can do, really. He's moved his way, he's earned his way into the top 10 throughout this event, and now with the track position staying out, he now rides in 4th, and Austin Belke is going to get scored in the 5th position after staying out, so it looks like he's going to be ahead of Brent Roy when we go back to green. I think we're going to get ready shortly, like you said, next time by, I believe it is, to get ready to go here. Reagan Parent currently was, like you said, was the free pass, and he's kind of zooming his way to catch back up to the field, just like Belke was the previous time by.
I don't know if we can get a shot of the Parent machine, but the right-hand side is quite used up on that race car. The left-hand side, not as much. Got a little bit of a crinkle in the hood of that thing, and the left-hand side's a little used up, but the right-hand side on both corners definitely used up. So we'll see what he can do in these last few laps, but that's a saving grace for him. Mentioned running in the points, near the top of the points, and This will give him an opportunity because he was about to fall a lap down, and he might have been as far back as 15th or 16th with those cars that are one lap down. So still got some hustling to get done to get back to the end of this field, but field is doubled up. Lights are out, so next time by we will be going green with only 3 laps to go.
3-lap dash. That sure is going to be interesting. Not only for the leaders, but some of these guys that are a lap down. Actually, it looks like pretty much there's, as we cycle around, there's probably about 10 cars that are being scored 1 lap down right now that are all on that same lap that are going to be battling together. Actually, about 7 cars that are all 1 lap down. Brian Ship's on a lap by himself in 17th spot, and then there's a few cars that are 3 laps down. So, but right now it's going to be the battle up front. 9 cars on the lead lap. Regan Parent still working his way back around, and but I think it's going to be. I really think it's going to be a battle between those top 3. I don't mean to count out some of those guys that made pit stops or stayed out to get into the top 5, but that top 3, those podium runners right now, they've been the class of the field all evening long. Peters, Kibbe, and Shepard. So, but I've been proven wrong before, so we'll see what happens.
Your best opportunity is going to be turn number 1 to make any sort of move. If you're Roy, if you're U-House, if you're at the back of this lead lap, you need to have a good turn 1, and you need to have a good restart here as the field in command of John Peters. Green flag flies. We are back underway, and who makes the move down here into turn number 1?
Looks like Peters has before turn 1 already. He got a great restart there in the 09. Kibbe's right there to his back bumper, though, and but he'll have to probably wait until another passing opportunity, as we see Brandon Uhouse and Brent Roy continuing to battle side by side, but Uhouse gets loose there and gets in the grass a little bit, and he loses some spots. That's going to probably relegate him to the end of the lead lap. So tough break for Brandon Uhouse, who was running in the top 5 a little bit earlier. Right now, a whole bunch of cars right here. All of these guys currently battling for positions 1 lap down. Devin Marhefka, Dale Glessner, and all of them. Corey Casagrande trying to work his way back into the top 10. But back on the lead lap, we see Austin Belke did not come down pit road. Shinosky and Belke stayed out, and they're trying to hold off Brent Roy in the 26, who did come down pit road. Also Evan Bollier in 56. We haven't said a whole lot about him this weekend, as Brent Roy makes a pass on Austin Belke for 5th spot.
Well, if you remember, Evan had that off in the very early laps of this race and has been able to stay on the lead lap and persevere to get up to where he is. So great run by the 50-16. 2 laps to go this time. Kenny Kibbe going to try to get down here and make something happen on John Peters. Great entrance into turn number 1, but can't translate that into a move to try to get by the 09. Daddy-O's 99 is Shepard running in position number 3, and should something happen to these top 2, the 99 is there. It's a 3-horse race. Everybody else is fighting for 4th on back.
Yep, just kind of like how we called it. Brent Roy, though, is getting a run on Matt Shinosky, and he's going to take 4th position. I don't know if he's going to have enough time to catch these top 3, though, as we had the 9 car is slow. That's Johnny Miller and Jason Rickards, number 9. But back up front, Brent Roy up to 4th, but he's got his work cut out for him to catch these top 3. Kenny Kibbe trying to stay glued to John Peters' back bumper, as he's only going to have a few more opportunities to find his way potentially by John Peters. Again, those 2 on recent laps. Now, of course, a few of those laps were under yellow, but we've seen them swapping who has the faster time a whole lot as this race has gone on. As the white flag comes out for John Peters, can Kibbe get a run going into turn 1 is the big question. Doesn't look like it this time, as he's going to stay right there with Peters, but actually gets a little, has to work that wheel a little bit in the number 4 as they continue to work through the corners. John Peters looks like he's in the catbird seat, but he can't make a mistake.
He has got to be solid all through here. Is a little bit sideways. Kibbe in his tire tracks. They will come down for the final time into the bus stop and see if Kenny Kibbe can hop the curbs a little bit better than John Peters can. Aggressive on the curb into the bus stop was Peters, and able to get out with the advantage, but the run by Kibbe trying to get there. Peters sideways, waiting to see what will happen here in the final couple of corners. Bring us home.
John Peters doing what he can to hold off Kenny Kibbe. Kibbe is right there, and he's looking to the left just a little bit. But as they come into this left-hander, John Peters, though, looks like he's keeping that car as wide as possible, and that he gets out of that corner very strong. And it looks like John Peters is going to come around and take the checkered flag, his second win of this NEP season. Kenny Kibbe second, and J.R. Shepard and Stephen Daddio's number 99 giving it a good run in the third spot. He was right there with the top two in the end.
Yeah, Shepard poured the pressure on at the end in those last couple of corners, not able to get up to Kenny Kibbe and John Peters, but able to hold on to a very solid position, number 3 at the end of this one. Roy and Shinosky, top 5. Looks like Evan is going to be able to hold off Austin for that position back there. House, Parent, and Casa Grande, your top 10 through 35 laps in the Zanie at the Glenie.
Yeah, good job by Corey Casagrande getting back into the top 10 after that pit road violation earlier. And I'm down here on pit road now with the big winner of today's race, John Peters, your second win of the NEP season, your second straight here at Watkins Glen. And take us through those last few laps. You had to pretty much be perfect there to keep that number 4, Kenny Kibbe, behind you.
Yeah, honestly, I'm still trying to catch my breath a little bit. That last caution kind of hung me out to dry. I had taken fuel only on the last stop because I thought we were going to go green to the end, and then I don't know if we had an oil spill there on the bus stop or what happened, but that caution left me as the only guy with old tires. I was pretty nervous about that, but was able to hang on. Thanks to Kenny for racing me clean. It was a lot of fun. I love this racetrack, and anytime we get to run road courses, so it's just fun for me. And wow, yeah, still trying to process it myself, Aaron.
Yeah, and that was it's a great duel. Even though there weren't a ton of lead changes, you guys were right there on each other early on with Kenny in the lead, and then you taking the lead. Kind of take us through what you needed to do to make what ended up being the winning pass earlier on.
Yeah, I thought, actually, even going back to the initial green, I thought I got a really good launch, and I thought I might have had a chance to get Kenny in turn 1, but I messed up my downshifts and kind of gave him the lead back. So from there, I knew I was kind of fighting from behind, and I kind of reverted back to my tire save strategy and just try to pounce at the right time. I think I reeled him back in about 10 laps into the race or so, and then it's just find a braking zone around here. It's tough because there aren't that many corners, and some of them are pretty high speed, so hard to pass areas. But we got down into one, and I thought it was my chance to outbrake him, and I think I got far enough ahead that he graciously yielded the spot. And then from there, it was just don't go off the track or make a big mistake and try to get the pit strategy right. I was watching him closely in my mirror just to make sure he wasn't going to try to undercut me on pit road or snake the lead away anyway like that. So it worked out, but it was a lot of fun racing with him. I think Kenny and I have been neck and neck at almost every road course race we've run, it seems. I think last year was similar. So a bunch of fun. I appreciate racing with him and all of the field there up front. It was a fun race.
Yeah, for sure. And once again, who helps you get it here to victory lane?
Thanks to you guys for bringing us to the masses. We appreciate it. Hopefully this was entertaining. Thanks to my fiance and my 2 dogs for letting me do this. Appreciate my mom and everybody who watches, and NEP, Zane for sponsoring tonight's race, and everyone who supports us.
All right, that's your victor for tonight, John Peters, his second victory of the year. And Tim, I believe you're further down pit road there with the second place finisher, another podium run for Kenny Kibbe.
Yeah, Kenny, I know you followed John and his tire tracks for most of this one, led some laps early, but what else did you need at the end besides maybe a little bit of a mistake out of that 09 to get by him?
Yeah, I mean, I think I was overdriving just a hair, and that was kind of causing me to make some mistakes at times. I was doing a little bit better when I was out in front and could control the race. Once I got behind, I was just trying all I could to get up there and make another pass. But yeah, I mean, if John made a mistake or two, or if I maybe hit my marks a little bit better, yeah, that things might have been a little bit different. But I'm just happy we could come home with a podium, another solid run. Got the pole, got another point for leading laps as well. So yeah, overall, I'm happy about it. And I could have been more aggressive, but I wanted to get home with a good finish. So that that might have taken a little bit of aggressiveness away from me.
He was track position. We obviously saw John take fuel only on the last stop, and a little bit of a quicker pit stop on the first cycle than you did in the 4. How key was that track position, and how key was that pit strategy ultimately in determining the winner here and coming home with a second place finish?
Yeah, I mean, the first pit stop I made a mistake in was just a hair too far to the right, and I had to readjust like 2 times, so that cost me about a second. And then we spent a good amount of time trying to get that back. And the second pit stop, I was going to go 4 tires all the way because I just wanted the safer play as far as just knowing that I was going to get a good finish with those tires. And I had no idea if there was going to be a caution coming or not. I mean, I heard maybe we were going to get one, maybe not. So I just thought the 4 tires was the safe play. And, ultimately it didn't win us the race, but I just felt a little more confident just being able to play offense at the end instead of defense.
Another good points night. Who's on this car that makes it happen for the 14?
Yeah, I'd just like to thank everybody at the NEP Shift Marketing and Design, you guys at Vidane TV for the broadcasts, everybody at Nocturnal Gaming, and everybody likes to ride on board on Twitch with me every week. And thanks to JR, our teammate, substitute teammate this week at 4 Wide Weaponry. He did a great job, and I'm sure Steve Daddio will be happy about that. And good run for our buddy Matt Chinaski in 5th today, too. Nice to see that.
Good run all around for the team. That's Kenny Kibbe in 2nd. And speaking of the super sub, I believe, Aaron, you've caught up with Mr. Shepard in 3rd.
Yeah, we had a road course ringer of sorts on the podium here. 3rd place, J.R. Shepard. And first off, introduce yourself to the masses. Who are you?
Yep, appreciate it, guys. Yeah, I'm more of a short track oval racer on the asphalt side. Race with Kenny and Austin and Matt Shinoski and those guys quite a bit. So yeah, just thanks to the guys for letting me sub for Steven in this race, and hopefully gave a pretty good run there.
Yeah, and those closing laps, it kind of looked like you were that last dash, especially the final lap. It looked like you were right there with the top 2. And did you think you had something for them, or were you just trying to bring it home for Steve and Daddio coming down to the end?
Yeah, more than anything, my job was just to bring the car home tonight. So to be able to run anywhere near the front was just extra icing on the cake there. But yeah, definitely didn't have the speed that the 2 guys up front had, John and Kenny, but felt like I was able to take care of the equipment and try to save the tire, so I still had something to work with toward the end of each run there, and definitely did better on that second run. I kind of wished it had gone green all the way. Might have been a little bit closer, but I still don't think I had anything for those guys.
Who'd you like to thank for getting this car home in 3rd?
Yeah, just absolutely. Thanks to Shift Marketing Design, 4 Wide Weaponry, my team on the oval side, Different Path Motorsports, and Stephen Daddio for letting me drive his car, and Daddio Auto Parts that's on the car. Appreciate him for letting me do that, and to Zane and Corey for putting on the league. Really cool to get to do this, guys.
All right, that's J.R. Shepard finishing 3rd for Stephen Daddio, the current 3rd place points man, and probably picking up a few points there on the 2nd place in points, Regan Parent.
Yeah, pretty fun night with these guys. Great road course racing. Looking forward to the next one in the next couple of weeks. And Aaron, you mentioned that points picture. We're starting to see it shape up here as we get closer towards the end of the season.
Yeah, Kibbe probably extended the advantage. Daddio moving in on 2nd place, Regan Parent, and John Peters. You cannot count him out, even though he was more than 50 points back going into this race. I'm sure he made up some ground once again, as still quite a few races left to settle it. And they're on the high banks of Talladega next week, if I remember correctly. So anything can happen when you're running a restrictor plate race like that. We saw it earlier in the year with Daytona. So a lot to be sorted out. So we continue on with the 2022-23 season of the Shift Marketing and Design NEP season. I think that's about going to wrap it up. I don't know if Paul has some last words to give us, if he has any voice left. But that's going to wrap it up for me this evening here at Watkins Glen. A great night.
Yeah, wrapping things up here tonight. Awesome race here at the Glen. Taking tomorrow night off. Going to rest his voice up. Hopefully ready to rock and or roll for Saturday. we got some cool stuff coming up with TCM. Tim, a couple of words about that before we get on out of here.
I hope there's no rolling. I hope we can keep them on all four wheels on Saturday and Sunday. We have the TCM Dirt Derby on Saturday night, our annual dirt race that we usually do, and it's going to be split up into three. So we're going to run a 35-lap street stock race, which at Bristol is almost like a Talladega where it's full throttle all the way around. The UMP mods takes a little more skill to get in there. Both of those are free and included cars on the iRacing service. So if you want to hop in Saturday evening and do some dirt racing, we start, I believe, at 6 Eastern. And then the top 10 in each of those races gets a chance to run the super late model race afterwards, 50 laps. So some Bristol fun on Saturday. And then on Sunday, we are up to 52, I believe, entries for the third annual Jim Hallahan 333. $75 to win on that one. Racing in honor of Jim Hallahan and everything that he's done for our racing community up here. I talked to Tyler last night, and Paul, you know as well as I do, Tyler Hallahan obviously wants to race. He's got some buddies that are coming over to race. He's more concerned about the halfway in between the qualifying and the race. We usually have about a half hour or so to set up the grid and everything else. He has Dairy Queen already on order and ready to go to his place for the break between qualifying and the racing. So we're going to have some fun on Sunday. I believe Dylan Langel's going to join us as well. So great evening and weekend of racing set to come with the Dirt Derby. We got some Royal Rumble to watch as well, and then we're going to go racing with the Jim Hallahan 333 on Sunday, and then TCM's taking about a month break off with Speed Weeks and all that other stuff. So I hope you can join us on Saturday and Sunday, Paul.
Yeah, it's going to be an absolute blast, and that's going to roll us right into next week. RBR Maritime Group coming on back, the Liberty Racing League, Carplex Racing as well, late Tuesday nights. And are then right back here for NEP Night in America next Thursday night, Talladega. Really looking forward to that one. But before we get there, we're going to grab ourselves maybe a nice cold beverage, maybe a hot tea or something for this throat. We'll catch you on the flip side. When we do, we are going to be doing it live.